Hey, hi folks. So today we'll be discussing about latency amplification. Before we dive in, let's discuss what's latency. So we have discussed this in our previous video also. So I'll start with the response time. Response time is when a user make a request and when it receives a response, the duration between this we call it response time. Now for a web service, this is the response time, and we define it in multiple ways like p50, p95, p99. What does that is? uh, Now if a user is making 100 requests to a server for the same request, not all these requests will have exact same response time, since there will be multiple applications running on the system. There will be some operating system related jobs or some garbage collection service. All these change slightly the response time. That's why you will not get consistent exact response time. There will be some few requests are very fast, few requests are relatively slow. So if we sort the response time from fastest to slowest, we take the half point, that will be our p50, and I can take a guarantee that 50% of my request will take are taking time smaller than this p50, right? So if I say 100 millisecond is p50, that means 50% of requests are completing within 100 milliseconds, and the rest of requests are taking longer than that. Now if I talk about p99, that says that 99% of the requests are completing in 100 milliseconds, but one request can go or can take higher than that. Now we have talked p50, p99. Now if I say that in term of p99, the one request that is taking longer than this time, that's a tail latency, because that's the latency which is the highest for our users. So now how this can affect our users? So first we need to identify why the latency is this high, the tail latency, because there could be that maybe the customer who is making this request is the most important one. Maybe he's placing a bulk order, or maybe he's posting something which has lot of content. That's why this is taking. And so we need to identify all these things. Now let's come back to what is latency simplification. Now suppose we mentioned that p99 is 100 milliseconds. Now one request is taking longer than 100 milliseconds, right? Now what if a user make a request to your service, and that to complete that request internally you call a different service, and maybe you are making 10 calls to that service. Now if you can leverage parallelization, you can create, you can call all these requests at the same time. But now the chance of one out of these 10 requests, one hitting to this tail latency is increased, right? Now earlier, if I was saying that my p99 is 100 milliseconds, but for one single user itself, the chances, because this one user making 10 calls, the chances of hitting this tail latency has increased. So this is what we call latency amplification. Thank you.